From day one of my administration, we put America first. Today, as we gather in this special place to celebrate not only the launch of a new spacecraft, but also our nation's bold and triumphant return to the stars, it's a special day. Moments ago, the world bore witness to the flight of the first new manned U.S. spacecraft in nearly 40 years since the space shuttle launched in 1981, a long time ago. I am thrilled to announce that the SpaceX Dragon capsule has successfully reached low Earth orbit and that our astronauts are safe and sound. With this launch, the decades of lost years and little action are officially over. A new age of American ambition has now begun. Past leaders put the United States at the mercy of foreign nations to send our astronauts into orbit. Not anymore. Today, we once again proudly launch American astronauts on American rockets, the best in the world, from right here on American soil. As you know, this spring, our nation has endured the pain and hardship of a global pandemic. As we usher in a new era of manned spacecraft, we are reminded that America is always in the process of transcending great challenges. Our nation is blessed with limitless reserves of talent, tenacity, and resolve. The same spirit of American determination that sends our people into space will conquer this disease on Earth. Should have never happened. Nothing, not even gravity itself, can hold Americans down or keep America back. I especially want to congratulate someone who truly embodies the American ethos of big thinking and risk-taking. After achieving success as an internet entrepreneur, he could have spent his fortune doing anything, including yachting, lots of things. He could do lots of things. But in 2002, he began pouring tens of millions of dollars of his own money into research and development for a new rocket. He's a little different than a lot of other people. He liked rockets. He assembled a crew of some of the greatest minds and talent in American aerospace. In the years since, SpaceX has become the first private company to develop and successfully launch its own rocket into orbit, the first to launch and recover its own capsule. And of course, moments ago, SpaceX became the first private company to put humans into orbit around the Earth. Elon Musk, congratulations. Congratulations, Elon. For Elon and 8,000 SpaceX employees, today is the fulfillment of a dream almost 2 decades in the making. For years on end, they have worked hand in hand with NASA, sculpting aluminum, tightening valves, tuning nozzles, testing parachutes, and filling massive tanks with thousands and thousands of pounds of kerosene and liquid oxygen. Today, the groundbreaking partnership between NASA and SpaceX has given our nation the gift of an unmatched power, a state-of-the-art spaceship to put our astronauts into orbit at a fraction of the cost of the space shuttle, and it's much better. From now on, the United States will leverage the fast-growing capabilities of our commercial sector and the finest pieces of real estate on Earth, which you need very badly to send U.S. astronauts into space. Under NASA's Commercial Crew Program, we will use rockets and spacecraft designed, built, owned, and launched by private American companies at a fixed price for the American taxpayer. Today's launch makes clear the commercial space industry is the future. The modern world was built by risk takers, and renegades, fierce competitors, skilled craftsmen, captains of industry who pursued opportunities no one else saw and envisioned what no one else could ever think of seeing. The United States will harness the unrivaled creativity and speed of our private sector to stride even further into the unknown. This launch also marks an exciting turning point for NASA. This agency will now focus its unmatched expertise like nobody's ever seen, and power and integrity to do what NASA does better than anyone else, and it's not even close. Embark on the most difficult, most daring, most audacious missions in the history of humankind. When I first came into office 3.5 years ago, NASA had lost its way, and the excitement, energy, and ambition, as almost everybody in this room knows, was gone. There was grass growing through the cracks of your concrete runways. Not a pretty sight, not a pretty sight at all. The last administration presided over the closing of the space shuttle and almost all of the giant facility that keeps so many people working, so many brilliant minds going. People were crying. They were devastated. But now it's the greatest of its kind anywhere in the world, and will get greater and greater with years to come. I promise you that. We have created the envy of the world, and will soon be landing on Mars, and will soon have the greatest weapons ever imagined in history. I've already seen designs, and even I can't believe it. The United States has regained our place of prestige as the world leader. As has often been stated, you can't be number one on Earth if you are number two in space. And we are not going to be number two anywhere. Nowhere is this more true than with our military, which we have completely rebuilt. Under my administration, we have invested $2.5 trillion in new planes, ships, submarines, tanks, missiles, rockets, anything you can think of. And last year, I signed the law creating the sixth branch of that already very famous United States Armed Forces, the Space Force. For every citizen who has eagerly waited for America to reignite those engines of will, confidence, and imagination that put a man on the moon, I stand before you to say, you need wait no longer. Through NASA's Artemis program, the United States is preparing for a crewed mission to Mars. Earlier this week, I saw the Orion capsules being worked on in this building. As part of the Artemis Moon to Mars program, those capsules will soon return Americans to lunar orbit for the first time in over 50 years, half a century. By 2024, our astronauts will return to the lunar surface to establish a permanent presence and the launching pad to Mars. And the first woman on the moon will be an American woman, and the first nation to land on Mars will be the United States of America. Since I signed the order to establish these goals shortly after taking office, we have made rapid gains. A new 22,000-pound capsule is already built. The next generation of spacesuits are already made. Colossal rockets are now being tested. And the contracts for 3 separate lunar landers have been awarded and signed, and they are magnificent. In the years ahead, America will go bigger, bolder, further, faster, and America will go first. America will always be first.
Sir, we have to get going.
What?
We have to get going, sir.
I don't want to go.
I know, but it's time to go.
I don't want to go.
It's time to go.
I don't want to
Sir,
go.
it's time to go.
I don't want to go.
Come on,
I don't want to go.
I know you're having fun, but it's time to go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Grab the ball. Give the ball to someone else. Give the ball to someone else. Give the ball to someone else. Mr. President, give the ball to someone else.